Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great day. It was beautiful weather out there. It was a pretty cold start. We had some dense fog near the Savannah River, but overall, no weather complaints whatsoever. We did see seasonal high temps hit the mid 70s, and this afternoon was just gorgeous out there. Saw a lot of sunshine and hanging with clear skies the rest of tonight. We'll see a few more clouds show up tomorrow, but the big weather story over the next couple of days is our next chance potentially for severe weather. Right now it does look like a low risk, but this is the latest from the Storm Prediction Center, just kind of showcasing that there is going to be a marginal severe weather risk. This is a level 1 out of 5 on our threat scale over here, so isolated severe storms are possible. Main concern is going to be damaging straight line winds, but just cannot rule out maybe there is a low end tornado risk as well. But no weather worries the rest of this evening or tonight. This is a live look outside of our southbound smokehouse camera. Temperatures here in Augusta still close to 70. Once that sun continues to go down, we will drop our temps off, most likely into the mid to upper 40s by early tomorrow morning. We do have the practice round at Augusta National Golf Club tomorrow for the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Early tee times, cool in the 40s, but will warm up all the way into the low 80s later into the afternoon. And you do notice from the day planner here that we're likely going to see increasing cloud cover into the day, and it also is going to be a little bit breezy at times Saturday afternoon, but early in the morning, wind shouldn't be too much of a factor. Let's take a look at that storm risk hour by hour for you heading into the weekend. So for tonight, early tomorrow morning, a few passing clouds. Temps will be in the 40s. As we head into tomorrow afternoon, that's when that south wind ahead of that front really starts to pick up, anywhere from around 10 to 15 mile an hour sustained winds, and that's going to help draw in those temperatures into the 80s. Heading into Saturday, right now around daybreak, looks mostly dry. It's most likely going to be pretty cloudy with temps very mild for this time of year, only dropping to near 60 degrees. And then this is when the line shows up. And unfortunately, the timing of this around midday, early afternoon, so we would have some time to kind of heat up and destabilize our atmosphere a little bit. At the moment, it looks just kind of like scattered coverage of showers and even some thunderstorms embedded. Even away from the storms, it is going to be a windier day Saturday, so sustained winds between 15 to 20 miles an hour ahead of these storms, and we could see some gusts as high as 30 or 40 at times. Most of this range does start to move south and east of Augusta as we head past around 2, 3 o'clock, and then by around 4 or 5 o'clock, most of this rain is east of us, so not necessarily a rain event that would last all day long for us here around town or really anywhere in the CSRA, but it will be impacting our northern and western counties first, dropping towards us here in Augusta, then moving out of our eastern counties last. But time frame right now, kind of between 11 a.m. 4 p.m. that would be kind of the impact time frame to where we could see a stronger storm or two. Good news is we do clear out again Sunday. We're back to sunshine and seasonal temperatures heading into the second half of the weekend. Just going back to that marginal risk, just kind of helping explain what exactly that means. So it means isolated severe weather is possible. We're not necessarily expecting long-lived significant storms with this cold front, but just could briefly see a storm turn severe and potentially could bring us those wind speeds 40, 60 miles an hour, and there is that low-end tornado risk as well. Now, the flood risk is very low. The Weather Prediction Center has put out a marginal flood risk. This would just mainly be a heads up for flood-prone areas. Since rain rates can get above an inch per hour inside those thunderstorms, that would cause some issues in low-lying, poor drainage areas, but not expecting a widespread flood event. This is going to be a relatively quick-moving line. It's not going to sit on top of us for too long, but if you just see a thunderstorm for an hour, you potentially could get close to an inch of rainfall, and it's just that rate at the rain falls to where what usually causes flooding. So minor impacts for those flood prone areas, but luckily not a huge sustained flood risk across the area. Here's a look at our wind speeds. I think wind's definitely going to be a factor over the next couple of days. Tomorrow afternoon, south wind between 10 to 15. But watch what happens Saturday. As this front really gets close to us, we start to see a tighter pressure gradient. That's going to increase those wind speeds up to 15, 20 miles an hour, potentially even sustained over 20 as these storms are rolling through. So this is going to be very gusty conditions and unfortunately could impact play at Augusta National for that final round for the Augusta National Women's Amateur. So a heads up, expecting a pretty windy, stormy day Saturday, but luckily it does clear out by Sunday. Here's a look at the wind gusts for Saturday. So even away from storms, you may not be seeing a thunderstorm, but you could still see a wind gust up to 30, 35, potentially even close to 40 miles an hour at times. So I would imagine we likely see a lake wind advisory issued Saturday. Just a heads up, if you're planning to head to the lake, it will be choppy and you're going to have to watch out for that risk for storms. But Sunday's beautiful, mostly sunny, highs in the 70s. Later next week, we got the big tournament coming to town, and for the first round of play on next Thursday, it does look like there's going to be the potential for some thunderstorms. Hopefully that changes. Still 6 to 7 days away, so plenty of time for it to change. But relatively dry for the first part of next week between Monday and Wednesday. Not expecting necessarily a ton of rainfall during those days. But we'll be here tracking that weather for you and with any updates, so keep it here for the latest. We'll have another update coming up on News 12 at 11.